What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the B3 podcast. I'm your host, Brett. I got Tanner the Head. I got Matt GPT. And we have Aaron here, but we'll get to that. We have our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. You go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
And 10% off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Rosewood Block. They make the best cutting boards and barbecue. Fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there. Also, you can go to D&D Beef and get some meat from them to put on the cutting board. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off there. And we have Omaha Barbell, the real Midwest mecca of fun and games. So Matt is here. Aaron is here.
Yep.
I don't even know the best way. You know what? I'll just let Matt do this.
Yeah.
There's no good way to go into this.
Yeah, I think just jumping right in. So January 25th, 2025, I tried to kill myself. Like, legitimately, not like, oh, hey, I like partied too much. Like,
Not the time you time traveled on your four-wheeler.
yes.
Ugh.
That time I wasn't trying to do it.
Yes.
But it was a long lead up to it and stuff, but it was like an official attempted suicide that Aaron and I and friends have been kind of dealing with, recovering from, adapting to since then. And I've, in the last year, have learned a shitload about myself and about my relationship with Aaron, my relationship with my friends. And it's just been, it has felt, I wanted to do it on here and like talk about it because it feels like a super heavy, dark secret that like I walk around here and like I know some people know and I know some people didn't know, but I always felt like it was just this secret that I was holding on to that like I don't have to. Like I don't have to like hide it. I mean, it's a fact, right? It's not like Aaron has heard me say a lot of times, like facts aren't good or bad. They just are. And this is just a fact. And like telling people about it is freeing for me. Like it makes me feel lighter. Not that I'm trying to like put views or like persuade people or kind of do anything. Like this is for me to like get it out there and share it and kind of share that story because it's part of me acknowledging what that was and being a little more open and transparent with life that I've been kind of going through. And, you know, if it helps someone and someone is able to have a conversation with one other person, you know, even about themselves, about anything else, cool. But really it was wanted to kind of talk through this for myself.
Was there something that led up to it? Like, was there a moment or was it like an accumulation of things?
It was accumulation of things. I think if we go back in time for at least the last 5 to 8 years, I would say I have been depressed, but I didn't know I was depressed. I was just like, oh, like some days I'm just sad or I feel like doing less than I did before. And it started getting really heavy and I started having kind of suicidal ideations, I think is the right term, where I had this, like I had it planned out, like I knew like what I would do, and was thinking about it and started seeing a therapist, what was that, early 24?
Yes.
I think, yeah, I finally went and started talking to someone in 24, but I wasn't in the right headspace to really like approach it. Then in the end of 24, like I felt like not the desire for self-harm like went up, but like the frequency of like, I don't know, like you have a down thought and stuff. I'm like, well, I could just off myself and then I wouldn't have to deal with this. And I'm like, wait a minute, Matt, that is stupid. Like, let's pump the brakes on that thought. But it happened more and more frequently. And so I started seeing a different therapist who was great. Like we connected right away, started talking, started on some antidepressants, and that kind of the accumulation, to your point, that kind of led to that exact moment was a combination of like doing the therapy and like starting to like try to feel feels and like those things coming up, which like I just never dealt with feelings. I was like, feelings are stupid. Like we joked in here the other day, right? There was anger and happy. Yeah.
I have two of them.
Yeah. There's two, anger and happy. Right. And so for me, like I had three. I had anger, sadness, and frustration. And those were like the only three feelings that like I ever felt. And so we started unlocking like, hey, like there's other feelings, Matt. And I was like, shut up. No, there's not. So we started doing that and then started on the antidepressants. And for anyone who's taken an antidepressant, like it cuts off the lows. So like you don't get as sad, but you also like can't get as happy and stuff. So whereas before, like for the visual, like if this is baseline, I could maybe get this happy, but I could get like that sad. And so it brought my sadness up. So I couldn't get as sad, but I also like my happiness also narrowed. So I had this like real narrow band, and was like making progress and stuff. And was like, I don't feel anything. And like, I don't feel like I can work through anything if I don't feel anything. So we dialed back on one of the meds. So there was
You were
that.
supposed to dial back, but then you just completely quit taking one.
The one, well, we knocked off that one.
Which one was it?
Rexulti.
Okay.
So it's a
It was, I think you said it was
Zoloft and
taper down, and that
Rexulti.
was like you quit it. And you're
Yeah.
like, huh.
Yeah, and I
Let me
just
start
maybe I
it
just
again.
quit that one. Yeah.
You totally like cold
Yeah.
turkey quit that.
So I quit that one because I was like, I don't feel anything, and like this is bad. So it's a combination. It was relatively low dose, like 50 milligram Zoloft and 1 milligram Rexulti. And so like Zoloft is like the standard antidepressant out there, like SSRI, and Rexulti is just like an amplifier for it. And so knocked off the Rexulti, and then went into feelings started to come back, but I was also still like drinking and stuff, which drinking antidepressants is not good. But when I couldn't feel anything, like I didn't notice that it was bad. But then knocking off that Rexulti, it was a combination of like knocking off that Rexulti at the beginning of the week, having this like overwhelming flood of emotion that week, timed in with like still drinking. Like it was a Friday night, and I remember sitting at the local bar out by our area, and I had all the best intentions. I went there and was going to have like a couple drinks, have dinner, and leave. And I did that, paid my tab, was going to walk out. The guy who I went hunting with this last year was there, and we were in the midst of like planning that whole trip. And I was like, oh, cool, sure, I'm gonna go talk to Mike. So I sat down and started talking to Mike. He bought me a couple drinks. I was like, sure, I'll have some more drinks with Mike. And then at some point, like my brain just flipped and said, you know what? Like, we're just gonna get fucking hammered tonight. Which I don't remember having that feeling explicitly before, but like that night I explicitly remember having this feeling of being like, we're just gonna get fucking lit up. So I did. Got lit up, and then we were leaving, and this is where it gets real fuzzy, and I don't know exactly the order of events that happened, but I remember leaving. I think I went home and grabbed like a bottle or two of bourbon and got in my car and decided that I was just going to drive until I crashed and died. Like that was my expectation. So it wasn't, and I mentioned to Aaron that it was like, so before this, we had also, like, we had changed the safe on the gun code safe or
Gun safe code.
Yeah, that
There
one.
we go.
Had changed that, which I mean, it's fortunate because I'm pretty sure that I would have tried that because that was always my plan, was use a gun. So I'm like, that's like, for sure, like it's going to happen. But got in the car, drove. I don't know where I was. Like there's little flashes of what I was doing, but at some point I came to as I careened off a guardrail, like a big interstate concrete guardrail, pulled off to the side of the road, like did the old drunk guy check to be like, hey, do I have headlights? Do I have taillights? All that. And then woke up at home. But it was...
So what do you think made you not continue the mission?
I don't know. I don't...
Just like that careening off the guardrail, like that adrenaline run. You get that adrenaline dump that kind of
Yeah.
almost like sobers you up for a little bit.
it was probably some of that. I think some of it was like, I don't... I don't think like in that, I don't think I was like fully committed to like, I want to die, but I was okay if it happened.
Because you ended up like down by Lincoln, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Like I have flashes of being there, but I don't know exactly where I was. But flash forward to getting back here. And at some point I had called, I assume after probably I bounced off the guardrail, I called, we have a gal in our area, Barb O'Keefe, who runs the Yellow Ribbon for our area. And Yellow Ribbon is like a suicide hotline, suicide awareness thing. Sometime around 3:30, almost 4, I called her. Like, I don't remember calling her, but I called her. And then she didn't answer because it was 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And she was like, oh, Matt must have just butt dialed me. Woke up, came here. And we're being like, dude, you smell like booze. And I was like, yeah, I got a little drunk last night. When was still like trying to come to terms with like what.
Well, and I was like, I even said, I was like, I don't think you're supposed to, because you had told me you were taking I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think you're supposed to drink when you take those. And you were like, ah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they make it clear enough how do not drink.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and
I have a family member who like was on antidepressants and got drunk and she hung herself. Like
Wow.
like I don't think they're clear enough.
Agreed.
Well, that, and I think and I don't know, 100%, but like the weaning yourself off of things instead of the cold turkey, I don't think that's also,
Yeah.
and I think that should be largely on the packages. Like, do not
Yeah.
cold turkey.
Like we were in agreement on tapering down, and I was just like,
Because I think the cold turkey just swings the chemicals.
Well, they
completely
don't
opposite.
like they can say it. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, doctors tell you a lot of things. Oh, don't do this, don't do like people. It's like they need to sit like, do fucking not do this.
Right.
Do not quit cold turkey. Do not drink. Like,
Yeah.
it's not clear.
Right.
Or it's not as clear as it needs to
It's
be.
not, yeah, it was not as clear because even talking to the therapist, I told her, you know, like, hey, I was still drinking, but I also like when I wanted to drink, like I can drink a lot.
Yeah.
So like there was at least probably half a dozen times I would drink a whole case of beer in a night.
Well, I remember after the 4-wheeler incident, because you drank
Yeah.
a case that night, and then I even said, I was like, are you all right?
Yeah.
And that was 4 or 5
year.
months. Was that a year prior?
Yeah.
Was that long?
That was the year.
And even then I asked you, I was like, are you all right? When you're like, oh yeah.
And the funny thing was like I wasn't at that point in time I wasn't connecting the dots of like because I didn't ever feel like I needed to have a drink. It wasn't like, oh hey, like I can't wait to have a drink. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I want a booze. Like I didn't ever feel that. But in hindsight looking back, like I always wanted a second. Was my thing. So like once I started to have a drink, it was like, cool, let's have some more. And that was kind of like a coping mechanism. Not like it was the coping mechanism of being like, it let me feel or suppressed the anger, sadness, and frustration enough that I could more closely emulate happiness. Because I still don't think I was happy. It just pushed those feelings down or pushed them out of the way enough that they weren't so prevalent that I tricked myself into thinking like, oh yeah, this is fun and I'm having a good time and doing this stuff.
So I was listening to a therapist, and she was talking about how male and female therapy has to be different. Mm-hmm. And one of her points was that men have to be able to solve things.
Yeah.
So just talking for the sake of talking for men is not beneficial because it messes our brain chemistry up. Our cortisol goes up. Our things like our brain chemistry gets off if we can't solve it and we don't have anything to check it. Women, when they talk about things, their brain actually gets happier.
Yeah.
So even if they're in a bad mood or they're depressed or whatever, when they talk about things, their brain chemistry works out, their estrogen comes up, it lowers things like affects dopamine and everything, and it actually works. But if men can't solve a problem, it doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Was there something you felt like you couldn't solve?
I didn't know why. Like I didn't understand. So when I look back at the life, like I don't have, like, I can't point to a trauma. I can't point to a thing. Like, I didn't lose a really close loved one. You know, I didn't have, you know, military trauma. I didn't have this like trauma thing. And so that was, for me, like looking at it, it was like, I didn't understand why. And so like, I didn't see that there was anything to solve, because I would sit down with myself and be like, man, why the fuck are you so sad? Like, you have nothing to be fucking sad about.
Yeah.
You're married. You have a fantastic wife. You have a kick-ass house. You have a pretty good job. You have good friends. Like, I have
A successful podcast.
successful podcast, right?
That should be number 2.
Yeah, number 2. Sorry, I have good friends, but I have all these things, right? So like, when I look through the list of things to check off for a box, like, hey, are you doing well at life? I was like, why the fuck? Like, you don't deserve to feel like this. Like, you don't. I never felt like I had the right to be sad, because I had so many good things going for me. And so it was just like, fuck it, this must be a thing. Like, this is something else. It's just a temporary thing. So push it out of the way. Once I started talking to the therapist, who I intentionally chose, well, I connected with Wes, who, when I was talking to him initially about seeing a therapist, he was like, would you like to see a guy or a gal? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really care. And so we kind of talked through it, and intentionally I chose a female therapist, largely because he highly recommended her, but also because I felt like I had, and in talking with her, like, had enough masculinity in my life. Like, I didn't need more of that. Like, I needed a different angle to try and solve it. And so when I started talking with her for the first, I don't know how long it was, 2 months, first 2 months for sure, but I'd say even like the 3
This
months.
is post attempt, or
I would say so I started seeing her October-ish of 24.
So a couple months before it happened.
Yeah, so a couple months before it happened. And then post, for the first probably 3 months after that, you know, a lot of it just felt like me bitching. Like, all I was doing was talking. But it felt like an extremely safe place to say the things that I was scared to say to myself or to Aaron or to anyone else. And having that helped me start to unlock stuff of just being like, hey man, like, maybe there is no big thing to solve, but like, there's still, like, to your point, there's still stuff to solve. Like, we still have to get down to this root cause,
Yeah,
and figure out what that is. But just talking, and I mentioned to her before, and I told Aaron and stuff, was just like, all I do is I feel like I show up and I just bitch and complain and stuff. And when I talk about it, it felt like just the dumbest shit, because I would bring up something mundane that happened from my childhood. About it, sometimes it felt like, well, my mom and dad did this, and I'm like, God, man, you're a fucking adult.
Yeah,
Like, you can't blame them for these things. Like, at some point you have to take responsibility. But having that environment to just start talking was extremely beneficial, to get the ball rolling, to start actually making progress.
Did you say you switched therapists?
I did. Yeah, I switched because I saw a guy for a couple months maybe. And it was a combination of like, I don't think I was fully ready to explore therapy and like capitalize on it, but also like we just didn't connect right away.
Yeah.
Like, I think if we'd be friends outside of it and be like, hey, cool. But it was like our styles and the dialogue just didn't, I don't know. We just didn't jive. But then when I met with Tara, it was like day one, it was like, cool. Like immediately, like I felt like I could trust her with all this deep shit and like feelings that like I didn't even trust myself with. I didn't trust Aaron with, that I didn't trust anybody with. And that was kind of the catalyst to get that going.
But so you guys had obviously known, because you guys changed the safe code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I guess my point or my side or how I saw it, I guess I knew like he would get kind of down, but then it's like, my dad would get really quiet at times, and it was like, oh, that's just, you know, how he is. And he was never mean to me. He was never mean to himself. I thought. I didn't know his internal dialogue was so horrible. Like, he's told me a couple of things that he would say to himself. And I was like, oh my gosh, you talk to yourself that way? I couldn't believe that part of it. But then it was like, yeah, the summertime and fall, he kept kind of mentioning like, oh yeah, like we'd be talking and he's like, well, I have a plan. Yeah, and I'd do this. And he'd bring up like suicide more frequently. And I was like, this is getting like, you're mentioning this probably every day. And so after probably, and I feel kind of bad now because it was like a couple of weeks, I've been like, okay, I reached out. His primary care is my primary care doctor. And I reached out to her and we're friends. And I was like, hey, so this is actually kind of alarming me. And she messaged back and she's like, okay, yep. She's like, I think, and I told her about Tara and seeing someone. I was like, I think we need medication because it's starting to make me worried. And she said, yes, she agreed. And so she started on meds, and I didn't, like, thinking of alcohol, like I didn't mention that to her. And like, I knew you were drinking, but I don't think I knew it was like more than you were, but I didn't think it was so much. And so I don't think I mentioned it to her, but we started on meds. And then she, started it like that day. And then she messaged me later that day and she's like, do you guys have guns? And I was like, yes, we do. And she's like, I don't know. I just can't shake this feeling. And she's like, we should lock these up. I'm like, that's a great idea. And I felt stupid because I didn't think of it because they're hidden like everywhere. And I was like, nope. Yeah. Yep. Yes, I agree. And so then I went like around the house and like locked it and changed the code.
But like we talked about it. So it wasn't like,
oh,
you
yes.
had
Oh,
my
sorry.
back
No,
and did
yes.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was like we had,
yes.
She talked and she said, Matt, I really want to lock these
Yes.
things
And
up.
you were like, okay.
And at first I was like, it's fine. But then I was like, no. Like I did it initially because I was like, if this makes Aaron feel better,
yeah,
cool,
sorry.
let's do it.
Yes.
So we went and
And I
picked
don't think you actually thought I was going to, or something.
Yeah.
And then he went around the house. He's like, oh, you got that one. Oh, you found this one. He's like, you got the one in my truck? And I'm like, you betcha I did. And then changed it. And he had, I don't know, I guess I did feel better. And then like you had just mentioned recently, you're like, I wasn't going to be like driving off the bridge. It was actually, I was probably going to shoot myself, which he had not told me that in the last year. You told me that a couple days ago, which I was like, oh my gosh, like that was emotional to me too. Cause like, had we not done that? And if Deidre didn't had said that, like,
There's no coming back from those.
yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like all the guilt, and I would have felt so bad. I was like, oh, well, no, maybe that's okay. Like, I'm so glad we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long-term solution for a temporary problem.
Yes.
100% it is. And I heard someone phrase
And this isn't to talk down on anybody who's ever.
No. Yeah.
No, and
Just you have to think of that and like the people around you,
You'll
what they
get
have
through
to.
it. Yeah.
someone I heard
Yeah.
the other day someone say that suicide doesn't end the pain, it just transfers it
to everyone else.
to everyone else.
So I've sent this video to people who I thought needed to hear it, but there's a guy who jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, and almost everyone who does dies, but he survived. And he said as soon as he jumped, he had regret.
Yeah.
Like it was like the moment. So he talks about this, and because you never really get to talk to people afterwards,
Right.
So, and or you're like, oh, were they really trying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like he literally, like people do it all the time, and no one survives.
Yeah.
He did, and I've sent that video to people who I think, because it's hard to talk, but someone will watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is easier to, and honestly, I think there's some of those. There's a couple people that have that popped up in my algorithm before I started seeing Tara that I think were the catalyst, because they were like you guys could have said something to me, Aaron could have said something to me, and it would have hit differently. But like you hear it from this other person, and like for some reason you either have like a more open mind, or you're just like, oh hey, I'm just going to listen to it. But it's like,
Well, you're not guarded.
yeah, I mean, I'm not guarded, and I'm not worried about, because it's a video, I'm not worried about what they think. Whereas like specifically like our friend Drew is a psychologist, and like my fear of talking to him about anything beforehand was like I always wanted him to stay my friend
Yeah.
and not be it's happening. Not lose that. But once I talked to him, it was like he was still just true.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I think it's like I said. I think it's rough. I mean, when you're a man, there's a reason why men commit to it. You know what I mean? The numbers are wild. Like if anyone listens to it.
Yeah, and the rate's only going up. And like even now, we were just talking about it on the way in, and like as stupid as it is, like I look down on myself for like trying suicide that way, because I'm like, God, that's such a pussy way to do it. Like if you really wanted to do it, you'd have got a gun. Like you'd have made sure that it happened. And so there's still like that voice that's there that's just like, nah, that was the bitch move. But it's like thinking about it, look, yeah, I'm like, thank God I didn't. Right?
Yeah, I think like I said with guys, because nobody wants to say anything because you don't want to feel like a pussy.
Yeah.
Well, we're not
You know
allowed
what I mean?
to fall.
To talk about it. You know what I mean? To be like,
Well, men aren't allowed to fall off their horse. Like you're just not.
Yeah.
You're just not allowed. So, I mean, it's not. I mean, I think it's something that makes men, right? It makes guys do things that, there's a reason we're designed this way. It's because but it doesn't make it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. But I think most guys just won't fall off their horse. You don't want to talk to your friend about it because you don't want to know how your friend's going to judge you about it, and you don't necessarily want to talk to your wife about it because you're a man.
the strength of the family.
Yeah.
Right. And like part of it, which I think is, I'm not the only one that feels that way, but like in any opportunity I have to carry a burden that Aaron doesn't have to carry, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like put it in my backpack. I'll take it. And so sharing that is like saying, hey, like help me carry this.
Yep.
That's hard.
Nicole says I just stuff everything. And everyone just handles, everyone handles things differently. But like I was talking about earlier, it's like if something comes up, I have to have a solution.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it was like when I was on all these blood thinners, I cut myself and it's like a tiny little cut. Like I cut myself all the time. And I put gloves on and took them off, and there's freaking blood everywhere when I took my glove off.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I can't live like this for the next year. I have to be on these blood thinners. Yep. So I freaking go on Amazon, buy fucking blood stop, liquid Band-Aid, fucking gauze and all this shit. I put a kit in my car. I have a kit at the house. I'm like, and then immediately the thought, it leaves because I already solved it.
Yeah.
So if something happens, I already fucking have a solution. But if I would have sat there and just worried about it, then it's just like, gets in your head and you're like, well, what did I do? It's like, no, I don't even know if it was a good solution, but it was a fucking solution.
Yeah, but it's a solution. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it threw me for a big loop because there are so many things in life that I handle, like stressful situations, piling things on, solving problems that I'm like, I don't know why everyone's freaking out about this. Like you said, like with that situation, like some people just lose their mind, but it's like, no, just fix this and solve this. And so to be able to tackle so many different things, but then have this other piece that in my mind is like mine to own and mine to control. Like, Matt, you have 100% control over this, yet you can't fix it, was just like creates this spiral. And then the inability for me to ask for help, period, in anything, like anything around the house, this emotional stuff, doing projects, anything. It's like I will sacrifice myself to help someone else, but like for me to ask help is like when Aaron reached out to you and Ron to come help with that fence. Like that was probably one of like the hardest things I've done, and I didn't even do it. Aaron did it. I just had to like be there, but like to ask for help was just, and so that's what I felt like if I shared anything with Aaron, if I shared anything with you or with you, like then I'm like asking for help and I'm asking you to take something out of my backpack and carry it.
I think it's, you gotta look at it like what you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna fix my car. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Like there's certain things you have to, like I have no qualms of asking someone to fix my car.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of the same idea, which is hard to think of it that way, but there's just some things like
Yeah. I think there's something
just
like
knowing
that.
what you're, knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know and what you're good at and what you're bad at.
Yeah.
And it is hard because we all want to be good at everything.
Do you feel, can I ask you a weird question? If you're watching like TV and someone's like embarrassing themselves, like, do you feel their embarrassment?
Yeah, I have a hard time watching it. Like I
What do you
can't.
mean?
The one commercial where the guy is like, "Oh, bulldogs," woo, 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 woo," and like he barks at his boss.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
That one drives
like
him
Borat,
crazy.
like-
He finds it so
so
uncomfortable.
I
Honestly, I
like,
just find humor.
oh,
humor in it.
I'll cover
He's
my
like,
head.
"Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I'll cover my head with like a blanket. Like, I can't watch it. Like
Yeah.
Are you 6 watching a horror movie?
no,
I'm
like
the same way. Like I'll look away. Like I just.
well, I was just asking, like, do you feel, like if you're an empath and you're like feeling other people's stuff, like you don't want to burden them because you know what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big. I think it's a big piece of it. Like I have significantly larger feelings than I ever thought I did or ever let myself have, and so I didn't know what to do with them because part of them was like, "A, you're a guy, like you're a man, so like we don't do feelings." And,
We do too.
Yeah, we do too. And like B, anything that's a burden to me, if I ask someone else for help, now it's a burden to them, and I don't want to do that to them, even though, like, I love helping my friends. My friends would probably have no problem helping me,
100%.
but like for me to ask for that help feels like I am now a burden, and like I just to do that, and so like
Can't do it.
yeah, I just can't.
Well, but also another way to look at it, you're also allowing them to feel good if you allow them to
Right.
help you.
Yeah. There's
But sometimes there's a change,
yeah.
and that's why I was kind of asking about, like, talking about things and like how, like, if you feeling what other people feel, like maybe you just have to like also say, hey, I feel really good when I get to go help somebody.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
And there's
like I'm taking that away from them too. I'm not burdening them. Like, I'm
Yeah.
allowing them to feel good as well.
And I know even like if you've helped me obviously, so like not helping, then you feel, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not gonna ask him to help me again because he helped me last time and I haven't done shit for him. So
and like logically, like my high logic side can say that.
Yeah.
and not that it's like it has to
yeah.
be a tit for tat, but it's like
Yeah,
you still
but
want to
it'll-
like help somebody out that's helped you.
Yeah. And so yeah, my high logic side really kind of struggles and has been a hurdle to come over because like logic and emotions generally don't play well together. Like they can be dialed up and down and stuff, but like you can't have I don't think you can have like high logic and high emotion in the same instant.
It's hard.
Like you have to kind of toggle them down, which is funny enough why like this hat has meant a lot because it's been like for me I'm a switch guy. Like it's either on or it's off when it comes to like
That's the
logic,
math part of
emotion.
you.
Yeah, and it's like to do that thing. So because I'm like, all right, we're gonna be in this thing. Fuck yeah, like all the switches we're on, but like you can't have them all on because you don't have enough juice to like power all these different light switches. So some have to be off, some have to be, or you can put them on dimmers, right? And we can like dial some up a little bit, dial some down a little bit, and navigate that way. And that's probably been one of the bigger challenges and something that's opened me up to try to be more communicative with Aaron, to be like, because I've been more now like just saying like, hey, like I'm just not having a good day. Like I don't know what it was. I just woke up. It's nothing with you. It's a me thing, but like I just feel real shitty today.
Did you ever feel like you were helping everyone else and no one helped you? Like, did you also like flip that around? Like, even though you weren't asking for it, was that ever something that, like I do all this stuff for all the, no one ever?
Oh no.
Okay.
No,
I
like,
didn't- yeah.
that's I think that's one of my like core values or core tenets of like my contribution to friendships and relationships is like being there and helping and doing the thing. And like, I don't want to say the word sacrifice because that sounds too dramatic, but like giving to my friends and stuff. And it's funny because I sit back and I'm like, all right, Matt, if you really like giving to your friends and you like helping them, your friends probably share some similar traits with you. So they probably also would enjoy helping you. So if you ask for help, they're not going to feel bad.
No.
They would actually probably enjoy helping you. And then I'm like, shut up, brain. That's not how we do things. and flip it.
Has therapy been good?
Yeah.
Have you got?
It's
Have you unlocked? I don't even know what the word is. Have you,
right. Yeah. I don't know. Cause it's
my brain's still like, have you unlocked the magic solution yet?
Have you got down to the root cause?
Not even the root cause, but like,
Like,
if you figured out your plan.
right. That's the thing. And so like we're actually just joking about it a couple sessions ago because she asked like how I thought it was going, and like and I told her I want her to tell me what to do, and she's like, well, you need to go somewhere else because that's not how this thing works. Like we'll work through stuff and like come up with ideas to do things, and like so she'll prompt, and I enjoy that she constructively challenges my worldview, because I'll just like start talking about things, and will like was talking about how to deal with some personal relationships, and was like on the fence of just being like, I really just want to like cut them out. Like I just want to be done. You're out. And right. And she's like, okay,
This is my
cool.
exit interview.
Like how do you think you feel about that in a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? Like what does that version of Matt think about this? And she's like, all right, cool. And so we talk through it, and she's like, now also think about how you empathize with people's feelings, right? And so like I will, take that burden to not hurt other people and stuff. She's like, so how do you rationalize that action with that part of yourself? And kind of asking some of these questions to like work through some of that stuff. But honestly, I think the biggest part of it has just been, it's been like creating this, I hate the term safe space, but like creating this space that I can practice sharing and practice like some of these emotional talks, so that I kind of like work through the kinks. Because Aaron, we would have stuff, and Aaron would always be like, Matt, you have to fucking say something.
He just like blank stare look at me.
Because I would, yeah, like we'd be having, something where she would be having, I don't know, whatever it is, and like want some kind of reaction out of me. But I didn't know.
We'd be having a conversation.
Is that what that is?
Weird.
A conversation?
Yeah.
Ugh, those are terrible. But she would want some kind of like feedback from me, but I didn't know.
Like, what are your thoughts? And you just stare at
and
me.
I didn't know how to do it, because like I didn't know how to interpret the feelings without. So when I would share, I'd be like, okay, cool. The safest thing for me to do is we're just going to turn off all emotion, and we're just going to state facts and be really cold and go that route, which when you're talking to your wife is not productive.
No.
Not productive at all. But in my brain, like that's how I rationalized not knowing what to do with the emotion. I was like, I don't know what to do with this emotion. I'm not quite sure how to handle it. I don't know how to say it just right. And so I would just be like, okay, we'll just turn the emotion switch off. We'll dial the logic way up, and we'll go that route. And it didn't really go anywhere productive. But now talking with Tara and kind of going through this stuff, it's like I'm practicing dialing those switches up and down a little bit. Like,
Well, using dials instead of switches.
yes, yes, not dialing the switches. Yes, using dials. So like we had a conversation when I don't remember, we were going to dinner somewhere, or what was it? Because it was. I'm trying to remember what the exact circumstance was, but we were saying the same thing, right? Or I thought we were saying the same thing. She thought we were saying two totally different things. And I was like, okay, hold on a second. Like something's happening here. Let me tell you how I feel right now in my words. And you try to just hold on a second, like just hear it for what it is. And then let me tell you how I'm going to use my emotional words. And then I'm going to try to translate that to what I'm trying to impart. And like, maybe we can help kind of translate through this. And so we did that. And after going back and forth a couple times, it was like, oh, okay, I see. What you're saying is this, and what I'm saying is that. In my mind, we were saying the same thing, but in her mind, we were saying something different. I'm like, okay, cool. So what you want me to say, or what you want to hear in this situation, is you want me to say this. And she's like, yeah, is that so fucking hard? And I was like, no, not really. And so then I went that route, and I was like, cool. But in a prior time, like we would have stalemated after the first interchange, and nothing would have been accomplished, and we would have just walked away.
You would have walked away.
I would have walked
Not
away.
talking.
Yes. Yeah. And then you ignore it long enough, and it goes away.
That's your go-to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So having that place to, I'd say, practice has helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you're like, because I'm guessing intrusive thoughts have not completely stopped,
No.
or at least they didn't stop like right away. I don't know where. Is there like, do you have a thought like, okay, if this comes in, this is my thought, my safe space to like bring me back? Is that something I guess I'm trying to help anyone else out there who's not going to go to a therapist.
Yeah, I think.
Like, do you think about the feeling you thought when Erin found out, like that you had tried, like the look on her face, or like anything like?
Not so much like that. Like I think now, like when that thought hits, I do sit in there and sit in it a little bit more and be like, all right, cool. Like, what's leading up to this? And then try to spend a second thinking about it. Like, okay, let's imagine in this scenario, whatever is causing this, like, what's the actual real worst possible situation that comes out from this, right? Is it, let's say it's a work thing, right? And okay, cool. So I don't get this done. I don't get this project piece done. I can't turn it into my boss. She can't turn her piece into her boss. We fail this project. I get fired. We lose the house, and just kind of go through that temporarily. But then at the end, I'm like, well, Erin's still alive. I'm still alive, and I can still get another job. All right, cool. So it's not the end of the world, right?
And honestly, I'm probably not getting fired. I'm probably just getting
yeah, and stuff. Right. But like, if I sit there and I think through like what's the worst that can happen, like it's doing that a few times has made it easier to kind of like quell that thought.
So instead of just walking away, you're actually having a conversation.
Yeah, I'm actually having that conversation and like sitting with that feeling for a little bit
instead of just pushing it.
Yeah, like I took and still do to an extent, take all feelings and I just put them in a box. And the way I was describing to her is like, because I think up until before the suicide try and like even talking with Tara, there would be some times where I would be like just driving home. Like the one time I remember it was a Saturday morning. I came here. I think we did the podcast and maybe I trained afterwards or something, or maybe it was a Sunday morning or something. But either I know I came and I trained here in the morning, and like 4 or 5 times during training, like I just went in the bathroom and was like just crying because I had like these feelings. I didn't know what the fuck to do with them. And I felt like a toddler or like a little kid who's like hungry, but like I don't know how to use my fucking words and I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'll just fucking cry. And so like I'd go in and out of the bathroom and would like cry a little bit, get in the car, like cried on the way home. But that was enough of a pressure release that I was like, oh, okay, cool. I've got more room in the emotional box. Now I can stuff some more shit in there and stuff, rather than like putting stuff maybe not in a box, but like put that feeling on a shelf if I don't know what to do with it, but it's still there and I can see it, and then addressing it later has been a beneficial piece. But like definitely sitting with that emotion. And right now we're doing something which sounded ironic in the beginning. It's still very strange. Maybe not ironic, but it just feels strange. But like putting a distinct label on emotions. So like have a feeling, like we'll be talking through something. She's like, all right, cool. What do you feel when we talk about that? And I was like, well, I feel, no. She's like, describe it. Like give it a name. Like what emotion, what feeling is that? Is that anger? Is it frustration? Is it sadness? Is it hurt? Is it happy? Is it joy and stuff? And like trying to define those emotions has been helpful. It's differentiating some of the nuance between, like, we'll just say like anger and frustration, because like they feel very similar and like one can generally lead to the other one, but they are different emotions and stuff. And so kind of like working through to identify those has helped me at least categorize them in the moment and not just put them in a box until they turn into some shitty ass soup that then has to come out.
It's So what do you think your biggest piece of advice to anybody out there?
Talk to someone. I mean, this like trust the people that you trust with everything else. Like trust them. Trust to talk to them. Like it's gonna happen again. Aaron said something shortly afterwards when we were sitting on the couch and she's like looking at all these pictures that we have of us. And, like we're smiling and we did family photos and stuff. And she looks at those and she's like, were you really happy? And her feeling like, or questioning that she didn't really know me because I was hiding such a big piece from her for so long. That's probably been the hardest, is for someone that you love and respect and cherish so much, where you think you're protecting, but you're not.
So just be honest with those people. Talk to them.
Yeah, and you don't have to have the right words or the exact right words, which is what I always thought. Like, I thought I needed, like, if I'm going to tell this to Aaron, like, I need to be able to describe it exactly, but
Like the perfect explanation.
like the perfect explanation, but it's not. It's just, I think even if I had said early on, being like, hey, I'm just fucking sad today. Cool. Like that can be as little or as big as you want it to. That comment, like, because you can be like, oh, I'm just sad today. And then if they're like, oh, really? What's going on? You're like, I don't know. I just feel sad. Or if you do know, like, cool, you can open up and you can elaborate and you can start having that conversation. But like, keeping it in and not truly trusting the people who you say you trust, like I genuinely trust Aaron with anything, right? Anything and everything. But for me, I felt like if I told her that, it would change our dynamic, and then now I am not the person that she thinks I am. And now she sees me. And when she sees me, she's like, peace out, Tubby. And then she's gone, right? And so, like, I had built up that story and built up that wall and this facade. So, like, I laugh at those, like, depression commercials where they have, like, the happy face on the stick that they hold up. But, I mean, that's really what it is like, you're looking through a one-way mirror that's got this image of, like, this is how I want Aaron to view me. And so she sees that, and I'm on the other side of this mirror looking out, being like, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't see me. But now as we get through that, and that mirror and that visage starts to come down, it's better. Like, it's just better. Like, I don't feel so fucking tired.
I like the broken little you.
Well,
the real you, I like.
I would guess that if you talk to a lot of guys who are feeling that way, that they're feeling exactly what you're saying.
Now, with you, Aaron, do you feel like it's changed, like, conversations you'll have?
Oh my gosh, like night and day, yes.
But now, I mean, as far as, like, do you hold things back? Like, you're not like
I'm more reserved.
Yeah.
Is what I say.
Because I think, and this is obviously my 100% outsider. I mean, I know Matt, but I mean, I'm not in the headspace or whatever, but like, I know that he doesn't want you to not come to him with like a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now are you like, well, I don't want to.
Little blips every now and then. I was like,
I don't want to do this because I don't want to like put him over the edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to like add on. And so I thought that, like, I've told him that, and he's like, no, like, it's like.
Well, because then
like
in your head, you were right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
and like, I don't think that, like I said, again,
So,
outsider, I don't think
bet
you,
it's hard for, yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't think it's like you come and be like, hey, like my tire's flat on my car is not the same
Yes.
scenario that's going to like, because obviously it's a different headspace where you're in, where you felt like you needed to do, you know what I mean? So I think that people think about that too. They're like, well, now I have to be weird because I don't want to, but I don't think that it's the same thing. You saying like, hey, I have this problem or this problem isn't the same problem that's going to put him into like this bad headspace. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably a dynamic to figure out also.
Yes. I've thought that too. And I've been like, but I not making, this sounds so terrible, but like thinking like if he would have died, and it's like, wow, like I was like, I would have been left alone. Okay. But I would have had to do these things, I would say, on my own. So in a weird way, I've been asking like, hey, can you show me how to do drywall studs? And it's like making me not more self-sufficient, I feel like, but like doing the things that I would just ask Matt to do. Then I'm like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. And then it's like, I don't have to ask him to do that in the future. And like, I can just do it. But I feel like in the very beginning, like the first few months, I felt not totally fine after like the attempt, but like I was just worried about him. And they're like, hey, everyone's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, honestly, yeah, I feel fine. And then it was like 3 or 4 months later, like I punched him and I was super freaking mad. Like, how dare you? And then a few more months went by, and then I started talking to another therapist. He's like, you should probably go. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And I could like let all that stuff out with her. And I was like super angry, and then I was just really, really sad. But now I feel like we're back to like a good like balance. We'll still like have like good days or bad days, or he'll say things or something will happen, and it like reminds me of like almost losing him. And if he would have like gone, like it was like, oh, was he just drunk? Was it a car accident? Like I never would have known his real feelings, and that would have been horrible. I don't know, for me too. But yeah, I think like it's a better dynamic, but I think it's different. Yeah.
I noticed in the beginning, right, shortly after it happened, like feedback Erin would give me, or like I would do something that would upset her, and normally she would be like, hey man, that was fucking stupid. But in those like shortly thereafter, she didn't say stuff like that because like
I was like, it's okay.
She was trying to protect me. She's like, oh no, it's fine. And so I think when you're the other piece I would say out, which like I strongly feel is like, if you do know someone who's going through this and they do open up, like don't treat them differently.
Yeah.
Like, cause like you said, as soon as you start treating them differently, then it reinforces that fear and stuff. So it's like I'm still me. I feel like I'm actually becoming a more complete version of me. Like I can interact with people and I don't feel like I have two versions that I'm trying to balance. It's like these two pieces are starting to come closer and closer together. And just like little kids lying to their parents, right? Like a lot of the stuff that I thought I was hiding, I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking sneaky, right? Like Erin knew about it. Like my friends knew about it. Like people who like know and care and like pay attention, like they know a lot of that stuff. So you're not being as sneaky as you think you are. And it gets really fucking tiring. Like it is
hiding behind a mask.
It is exhausting to do that and to try and balance that and fight that alone. Yeah.
No, well, I'm sure it was really hard because I mean I'm just sitting there like playing situations in my head, like just like different scenarios, like, well, you want to say something like, well, what if this is the moment that this pushes over? Then Matt's like, why the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like going back and forth. I'm like, yeah, that would be, there's probably just a moment where it's like, okay, this feels, okay, we're like new normal. It's kind of like an injury. Like the first time, like you tear a pec and then like have you benched anything yet?
Oh,
yeah, I told you about fucking guy. A heart attack is not a bench injury.
But like the first time you do something normal after an injury, right? Or like after a bad car accident, the first time you drive a car and you don't get, you know what I mean? Like, like you're like, okay, it's like there's like something there's like a box you have to check that okay, Matt pissed me off. I said you pissed me off, and we were completely like it was normal afterwards.
Yeah,
box checked. But like checking that box, I'm sure is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like from my point of view, like I was like, no, like give me that, tell me that, like don't be weird or different and stuff. And so there's that strange dichotomy that you hit perfectly, where like I'm saying no, don't treat me differently, don't do this stuff, but Erin's coming from this position and, you know, putting words in your mouth here a little bit, like, but she's coming from this position where she's like, hold on, this fucker that I've been married to for 10 plus years, been dating, what, 15, 17 years?
It's like 20,
that.
but it's fine.
20-ish years all in, right? Like this guy who like I'm sharing my life with has been hiding so much from me. So how do can I really trust him? Like, so when
Well, I've never thought that.
well, I'm not like that, but like, trust me when I say, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Like I'm fine.
Gotcha.
You can tell me that stuff. But then you're like, oh shit. Do I trust him now?
And now it's like you're walking on eggshells, you know.
But then the walking on eggshells creates the problem. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
fucking like. It's
Yeah,
like
so
a,
it is. Like, there's the
Tara was really
balance.
good though with helping, like I guess us with that. Because like, Matt, are you okay? I'm like, hey, no, really, like, are you? But I don't know how to word it rightly or correctly. And so then Tara would say like, Matt, don't get annoyed with her when she asks like, hey, are you okay? And it
Yeah.
was like she rephrased it and worded it differently. And so you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of what Aaron's meaning. And you got a lot less annoyed with
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like, hey, babe, are you okay?
Yeah, I was
What are you
super pissed
thinking?
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I said, hey, baby, okay? And you said you were fine that day when I asked you.
yeah, that's different. You stay nice.
Yeah.
It was the heavy petting, right?
Yeah.
well, I think sometimes the people that are closest to us are the ones that if they like, we're like, oh, she's
Drive
asking
you
me a fucking kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if someone else asks you, like, actually,
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
but I mean, that just,
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think talking to the people because people that know you will know that there's something going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like you came in yesterday, I was like, what's wrong with you?
yeah.
And I might ask like an asshole, but I mean it.
But
You know what I
kind
mean?
of.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah. But yeah, I was like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
What was wrong with you, Tanner?
I had to put my dog down.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Yep. Totally forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
word.
people that you talk to and interact with or your friends are going to know,
Yeah.
you know, usually something's going on.
Yeah. And
And sometimes it's just whatever, you know, not every day is, I always tell all my clients, not every day is awesome. You know what I mean?
right, in order to have good days, you have to have not good days.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be below the average.
And the shitty part is you have a million good days and one bad day, and the bad day, it's just like a bad review on a business. Was gonna, you know what I mean? Everybody will think of the bad day, but forget about the 100 other good days that were before it.
Yeah.
Well, when people say they have a bad day, if you get it down, it's like you had a bad 10 minutes.
Right.
Oh,
You
yeah,
had a
and
bad
that's how
10
you-
minutes that you've been thinking about all day.
There were like 24 hours in the day, and like something happened for 5 minutes or even a minute. It just fucking.
So your heart attack?
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, the day wasn't actually that bad. It was like it was fine.
Yeah,
Day.
you got
Hospital jello and shit.
You got the day off work.
Yeah, I got fucking sherbet and like Italian ices.
Ooh,
Yeah.
those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people focus too much on, you know, the bad thing or what, like this thing that's coming up next that, you know, like we talked about like our New Year's resolutions, you know, and I was like, live more for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like stuff like I've tried doing more of that and it makes things, I don't think about what's going on tomorrow at all.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Nice.
that whole, you know, and Amber says all the time, tomorrow's promised to no one. Like, yeah, just enjoy the day you got.
Yeah.
Well, after my heart attack, I felt free. Like, oh, I almost died. I could die anytime. It's not like not everything's solved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, well, fucking, I'm not putting up with dumb shit.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to live in the moment and live for
Yeah.
now and, you know, but yeah, don't be nervous to talk to people. Even your friends that give you shit will still be there for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and it can be like little stuff. Like I look back at all the little times when Aaron was like, hey, you all right? And I could have been like, actually, you know, I'm pretty fucking sad right now, or I'm just like having an off day or something. But I didn't. And had I said that, then cool, that opens that door to start having just that little conversation. And the other piece is like, and it's cliche, but like you're not alone. Like there are a lot of other people who have gone through this and are going through this and stuff. And like someone who asks you, are you okay? You know, they could be in a very similar situation. Right. And they're just like, but they care about you. So they ask you and then you open up to them. And then that gives them permission to now open up to you and stuff. And it improves that dynamic.
Or if they saw themselves or see themselves like in you, how they were, because they attempted or something. And
I mean, it's like if you go back and listen to when Kelly was on her. I mean, it's like AA. I mean, there's a reason that AA is successful, and people
Yeah.
who attend AA and take it for what it is successful because of the communication.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally just go there to talk.
yep.
I mean, that's, you know, and so obviously that's a proven formula that's worked for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, whether you do something like that or you have a group of people you can talk to, or I know people do like Bible study groups or stuff like that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
they're in like a, like you want to call it like a safe space, but where you can talk to people and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you want to
No, like that kind of wraps it up. I'll put a plug for the yellow ribbon though. If like you are really down and out and kind of at that spot, you can text 988 or call the yellow ribbon hotline. And there's someone there 24/7. Like Barb, who I gave a shout out to in the beginning, like she came into the fire station. So I left here, went directly to the fire station, even though she said she couldn't meet me for like an hour or two. But I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was like so scared and ashamed and embarrassed and mad and all these like all the feelings just swirling around. Like I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to like go anywhere. I didn't want to burden anyone else with it. But so she had actually called right as we were wrapping up. And so I called her back and she was like, hey, did you butt down me? And I was like, actually, I was trying to get a hold of the yellow ribbon. And she was like, oh shit. I'm over here. I can be to this spot and stuff. So she met me there. And like I've have a somewhat personal relationship with Barb just through the fire department, but like she came in and she just like, she didn't say anything. She just came in and gave me a hug. And we just sat there for, I bet we didn't say anything for 20 minutes. Just sat there. She held my hands. I did this. And then we talked. Some of it was about that. Some of it was about like fire department stuff, about chickens, about Aaron, about like everything. But it was just for probably 3 hours. We just sat there. That was huge. So if you are in that spot and you don't have or don't want to talk to someone close to you, there's a whole ton of people like Barb at the Yellow Ribbon that you can call. And yeah.
It doesn't take much.
Nope.
You got anything, Tanner?
I just think that, especially as men, like we have to be more aware. But I think a lot of guys obviously like have a lot of shit going on in their head, and they're trying to hide it, or not deal with it, or
Be the strong one.
yeah, they don't want to fall off their horse. And I think this is important for guys to recognize, and it's important for other guys to recognize that in like people around them.
Yeah.
Like to be, like, I mean, even just you asking me yesterday, what's wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it wasn't like some, like, I don't know. It was just very simple. But then also, like, just being able to recognize it and see it, and then, like, sit there and listen and be like, oh, yeah, man, that fucking sucks. Like, and it was like, it's just like, okay, well, now it left me. You know, like the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should be embarrassed to cry around your wife. They're probably going to change your shitty pants when you're old anyway, so it's really no difference.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really no different at that point. So you're going to be embarrassed plenty of other times, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So,
Yep.
well, we're glad you're bad at it.
Me too.
Me too.
So I had the best. So like I deal with a lot of stuff through humor, and a lot of it's dark humor. So my favorite joke that I made about it was, which I want to tell everyone because I thought it was funny. Aaron didn't think it was funny at the time, but I think it was pretty good. I don't know how long afterwards it was. But
Too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
God.
We had a bunch of flies in the house over the summer, and she was like, Matt, get that fly swatter and go kill some of those flies. And I was like, are you sure? You know how I am at killing things.
Don't laugh at that.
That was a good one.
We should be happy he's bad at it. So,
Right, yeah. That's one thing I'm fine being bad at.
so, yeah, kind of a different episode than we normally do, but it's
Yeah.
important. I think, like I said, Matt said, if, don't just walk around with all that on you. You
Yeah.
talk to people.
Well, I think it's important for people to talk about it. like that. I mean, I'm sure.
Because it's not uncommon. It's not like you're the
No.
only one.
No.
You're not by yourself on this whole deal.
Yeah.
You know.
Nope.
So
I thought it was good for me to talk to somebody too, because it was like I had so much like guilt that I didn't see it or I couldn't help him more. I felt really bad about that. And it's like, oh my God, what if he would have died? Like I never would have known.
yeah.
But even like I was like, oh, I felt fine for the first few months, and I was like, no, maybe I'm not okay.
Well, you were.
Yeah.
You had
Making sure he was
you put
fine.
everything aside
Yeah.
because you had to make sure that he was fine, and then at some point in time,
Yeah.
that's going to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure it did.
But it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like Tanner said. You know, like it just shifts the sadness to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
It does.
because then they wonder.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and I think that's also when you were talking about like you did. That's why I was asking about like, did you change? Because you're like, well, I don't want to be the I don't want to be the reason.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where a lot of people like, I think guys are like, well, if I say the wrong thing, then I could be the reason, or, you know what I mean? And I think that's always in people's heads. And then instead of just actually helping out, we was like, oh, well, like kind of like sweet, like act like we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Talk to people. Take care of yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
And live life to the fullest.
Okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
That is.
All right, guys. We appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe, share, follow. We'll see you next time.